You know the basics. Chef's knife, cutting board, pots and pans, measuring cups and spoons. You got those covered. But what comes after the basics? Cooking should be fun, right? And the right tools? They make all the difference. There's nothing like picking up something that does its job perfectly and just makes you smile every time you use it. That's something I like. I've spent years testing tools in my kitchen, trying different appliances, cycling through gadgets. Some work, some don't. Figuring out what actually makes cooking more enjoyable. Today I'm sharing my essential tools, the ones that have proven themselves over and over again and have earned a precious spot on my counter, in my drawers, or in the cupboard. The ones I reach for constantly. Let's dive in. Hey, quick sec. If you like videos like this and you want to see more, please like and subscribe. First up, chef's knives. All right, so this is your standard chef's knife. This is a ice-hardened, German-made stainless steel chef's knife. It has this nice curve, so you can do that rocking motion while you're cutting. It's a great knife. This is the knife I like to use as my chef knife. It's a little flatter, it's lighter, and it's, to me, way more comfortable. A good chef's knife, 7 or 8 inches long, handles 90% of everything you're gonna cut in the kitchen. Now, one culinary instructor told me a SANTOKU knife is not a proper chef's knife. But I like it. It works for me, and that's what matters. What are your thoughts on that? Are you team SANTOKU? Or is this the only proper chef's knife you can use? Let me know in the comments. All right, next up, bench scraper. This simple tool is invaluable. Keeps your cutting board tidy and makes cleanup so much faster. It costs a few bucks. I use it constantly. You should too. Next up, instant read thermometer. This takes the guesswork out of everything. Meat temperatures, bread doneness, fry oil temperature, candy making. No more cutting into that steak to check. No more soggy fried foods from that oil temperature that was too low. You just pull it out, turns right on. Get one of these. That's what I'm saying. Next up, kitchen scale. This one comes highly rated. This is the Primo digital scale from Escali. Now this is a game changer for baking consistency, portioning out meat or dough. Measures by weight, not volume, which is way more accurate. A cup of flour can vary by 30 grams depending on how you scoop it. Your baking will become so much more reliable. Are you a cups and spoon baker or are you a scale baker? Let me know. All right, let's talk about graters. I have a lot of graters. I've got my stand box grater. I've got a little handheld cheese grater, a stand grater for just doing a large soft cheese grating. I've got a bunch of microplanes. One is just for Parmesan. I've got another one that is just for softer cheese or chocolate. And my last one I'm going to show you is a microplane, which I use for a lot of things. This can be used for Parmesan. It can be used for zesting lemons or limes, ginger. You can do garlic with this. There's so much that this little thing does. So I would say if you've got the space, get as many graters as you can. I'm gonna leave a link to some of these in my description so that if you're interested, you can get the same one. Next up, we're gonna talk about spatulas. You really can't have too many, unless your drawer won't close. I've got spatulas for flipping eggs or fish, because it needs to be delicate and get under there, right? I've got 2 of those. One's dirty, I need a second one, all right? I got thicker ones for more sturdy things. One with holes, one without. These are silicone, they're not gonna scratch. Then I've got what I call like spatulas. Because I use it so much, I've got 4 of them. I actually have more, some are so ugly, I didn't want to show you. Then I was at someone's house a while back and I saw them using a little mini spatula. Let's say you open up a tomato paste and you want to get everything out. These are amazing for that. And then I have something here, it's a soft silicone tipped spoon, so you can get in there and get everything you need out of a jar, out of the pan, whatever. Spatulas, just keep buying them till you run out of space. Next, let's talk about whisks. Here is my whisk collection. I've accumulated these over many years. I started with just a standard whisk and then it just expanded. Small one for vinaigrettes, or let's say you're making hot cocoa and you want to just mix up something, make sure that the cocoa mixes in there. Get the little baby whisk. Medium whisk. Let's say you're stirring up a sauce. Large for whipping cream. Get a lot of eggs, or you got some whipped cream you need to do and you don't want to pull out your appliances and get them dirty. Pull out the giant whisk. This thing's got a lot of torque. It's an amazing whisk. Having multiple means not stopping mid-recipe to wash one. Next up, measuring cups. You probably already have a set of good dry measuring cups, but what I'd like to recommend is a wet measuring cups. These ones happen to be the OXO angled measuring cups. I've got the 4 cup and the 2 cup. I'm not sponsored by them, but I just love that when you're measuring milk then oil, then water. I love that I can measure multiple liquids in one cup. One thing to wash instead of 3. You can even mix stuff in here. I mean, I use this all the time to pour the different ingredients and mix them because I can read exactly what the measurement is. Next, let's talk about a potato ricer. This is the OXO potato ricer, okay? Now hear me out. A lot of people talk about not having single-use tools in your kitchen because they just take up space. But this makes the fluffiest mashed potatoes. No gluey texture. You just boil them, stick them in, squish them through, keep going. It's amazing. It's got this different attachment. You can spin this around to give you the fineness you want or coarseness. I honestly don't like single-use items either, except that this makes such amazing mashed potatoes that I have one. This is also perfect for squeezing out the liquid from grated potatoes for hash browns. Instead of dirtying a dish towel, you just stick it in, squish out the liquid, take it out. There's nothing left to do with the grated potatoes other than fry them up. This particular one, I put it on the bottom rack and it kind of melted a little bit. I don't know if you can see that this is supposed to be round. It's kind of janky now for me. It still works great, but it's not perfect anymore. Pro tip, top rack in the washer only, or hand wash it. Learned that the hard way. It still works, just a little character now. Next we have Immersion Blender. This one is KitchenAid variable speed Immersion Blender. It's got a detachable blade so you can wash it separately. It's got a little container for making smoothies or mayonnaise. There are more expensive ones, there are more powerful ones, but here's my pro tip. Get one that you like to use. This is lighter than the heavier duty, higher power ones, so I grab it more often. If the tool is great, but you don't want to use it because it's too heavy or too cumbersome, then what's the point of having it? So this one, it's not as powerful. Your purees might not be as smooth. This isn't a review of this right now, okay? I'm just talking about the form factor of an immersion blender. What do you use an immersion blender for? Why would you want it? This is perfect for pureeing soups right in the pot. There's actually a silicone attachment that clips on, so if you're worried about scraping your pot, put that on. This makes puree sauces, break down salsa if you get the texture I want. You know what it's great at too? Making vinaigrettes, mayonnaise. You use this container, you can make a mayonnaise in like seconds. Crack an egg, put in some garlic, some vinegar, some salt, put in some oil. You're done. And then all you have to do is watch this. How easy is that? Which immersion blender are you using and which do you like the best? Next up, Le CREUSET 9-quart Dutch oven. That's 8.1 liters. Look at this beauty. I had this, I don't know, 10 years maybe? How do I use it? Bread baking. Makes an amazing little bread oven. Look at that, it's huge. I make stews in it. I braise meats in it. I roast things in it. This one, I got the higher temperature lid, so I can stick this in the oven to like 450. It's beautiful, it's functional, and I enjoy using it. I enjoy looking at it on the stove. Okay, the weight is the only downside, and the size. It's cumbersome, it's heavy. But if you think of it like it's giving you a workout, then that's a positive, right? Buy once, keep forever. Maybe one day give it to your kids to use. Here's something. This is the KitchenAid food processor. I believe we got, when we got married 20 something years ago. We've never replaced it. We've had this thing the whole time. I don't even think they make this one anymore. Let me tell you about a food processor, okay? When you've got a lot of food to process, when I need to slice 10 potatoes or a giant block of cheese, I use this. Slicing, shredding, look at all that. Chopping, pureeing. I always have to weigh cleanup versus need. But when the job's big enough, nothing beats it. Just make sure when you get one, you get a high quality one that's got great reviews and has a large enough capacity for what you're gonna use it for. Next, let's talk about a really good stand mixer. Now mine is the KitchenAid 5-quart tilt head stand mixer. I've had this for over 20 years and it lives on my counter. Cookies, cakes, bread doughs, pizza doughs, pastry doughs, whipped cream, meringue. It just keeps working. If you bake regularly like I do, this pays for itself. And since it lasts so long, you'll never have to get another one in your lifetime. It's my baby, really. Last but not least, the VITAMIX 5200. Oh. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, you've seen me using this. I've had this for about 5 or 6 years now. I went through so many cheap blenders before this. I've had a Procter Silex, a Black & Decker, KitchenAid, Cuisinart, and for one reason or another, it either wasn't powerful enough or I blew out the motor because I was trying to mix something. They just failed. But this one, I'd look online, I'd see the price, and I would say, okay, I'll get something else, and then that would fail. And one day I couldn't get a soup smooth enough. I bit the bullet and I bought this. Never regretted it once. This blends silky smooth every single time. If you see my VITAMIX review video, I show it. It blends salsa, it blends soups, it blends smoothies. It actually makes nut butter. If you want to make like a blended margarita, this makes the most amazing ice. It's built to last. You're going to smile every time you use this thing. And you're like, wow, I own this. These are the tools that I reach for constantly. Not sponsored, just showing you what works in my kitchen. What's your most used tool? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more kitchen content. I'm going to leave some links in the description if you're curious. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.